What's up, guys? Taking a little break from movie talk, and I'm going to tell you about a brand new model TV that was released just this holiday season that I've had the pleasure of experiencing for the past 3 months, and that is the Toshiba M550ku, which is Toshiba's newest 4K model TV that actually has Fire TV technology built right into the television. And as somebody that watches a lot of movies, a lot of television shows, uses many different streaming services available on Fire TV, and plays both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on the regular, I have been really impressed with the quality of this TV. The picture, the sound, and the smart home integration that this television brings quite honestly matches, if not surpasses, a lot of the higher end brands that compete with Toshiba. Right off of the bat, one of my favorite features of this TV is in fact the Fire TV built-in feature. I am somebody that all across my house, we all use Fire TVs. I have Fire TV sticks in my kids' rooms. I have the Fire TV Cube down in the living room. And the one that I used to have in the bedroom never seemed to work very well. So I was actually looking for an upgrade when I was contacted about this TV. So funny how things work out. But while watching this TV, the Fire TV integration was seamless. I was worried it was going to be a little bit laggy or it might be a little bit clunky, and it is just as seamless as if you had plugged the device into a separate TV. It never lagged, it never was confused, it never lost any of the information regarding any of my accounts or any of the apps. It constantly kept them updated and fresh so that I didn't have to pause my viewing experience or wait to start something for it to update. It was awesome. And this TV also has Alexa built into it with voice recognition, so you can do it from the remote with the voice button, or you can just do it from a distance. It has speakers and microphones that are able to pick up all of the voice, all the ambient voice in the room that the TV is in. So if you want to change over to Netflix, if you want to change over to Prime Video, if you want to pause, rewind, stop, if you want to do a specific movie or search for something, all you have to do is open your mouth and say it, and the TV will recognize it and find exactly what you're looking for. There's also a live picture-in-picture feature which works with all of your home security systems, the ones that work with the Alexa app. And so that really helps me since this TV is in one of my upstairs bedrooms. So if somebody comes to my door, whatever I'm watching will keep playing, but there'll be a little live picture-in-picture box that will pop up and show me who is at my front door, so I can choose whether or not I want to stop what I'm doing and go and answer the door, or let the Amazon delivery guy just drop it off at the doorstep. There's also quick launch buttons that are built right into the mode as well. If you're somebody that does not like to use voice commands for whatever reason, you have Prime Video, Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus built right here into the remote. So those are obviously the most popular streaming services right now. So you just click a button, it opens up that app without you having to go through a bunch of menus. Now, outside of the Fire TV feature, I think one of the most impressive things about this TV is quite honestly the spectrum of color, the level of 4K detail, the contrast between the lights and the darks. I'm somebody that has very high-end televisions elsewhere in my house that I have spent a lot of money on. And this Toshiba TV quite honestly rivals all of them, especially when it comes to gaming. I was playing Horizon Forbidden West, and that is a game that pretty much puts video games to their full potential right now with what is available on the PlayStation 5. And I kept coming back to this room to play the game when I was reviewing it because it looked so much better, so much more colorful, and so much more vivid and bright on this Toshiba TV. And it helps that this TV has a 120 hertz refresh rate, which is something that to the naked eye, a lot of people might not really have much of a fit about when it comes to TV or television shows, but when it comes to gaming, it really stands out when you have that level of refresh. And also built into the TV is the low latency game mode, which adds to that refresh rate, that tries to prevent lag, that tries to prevent any kind of a time difference between the commands that you put into a gaming controller into what you see on screen. So that paired with the 120 hertz refresh rate and the 480 motion rate, this is the best gaming TV that I have ever owned. It comes with Dolby Vision, HDR, and HDR10 built in. So this TV can deliver highlights that are up to 40 times brighter and blacks that are 10 times darker compared to standard images, along with sharper contrast, vibrant colors, and nuanced details that add a huge level of depth to the picture. And one of the biggest things that I was really surprised about was the level of sound quality that comes stock in this TV. Everywhere else in my house, my TVs are plugged into sound bars. I prefer that audio experience. I prefer the home theater, the subwoofer, all of that. Now, when I plugged this TV in, I did have a soundbar hooked up to it for the first month or so, but for some issues that I will get into on the next part of this review, I had to unplug the sound bar. And so I used just the audio that came, the speakers that came stock with the TV. And I was shocked at how much I really didn't mind it. I didn't miss the sound bar. This DTS Virtual X system that they have, it really does stand out. I'm somebody that has not really used any flat screen TVs that have impressive sound built into it. Quite honestly, there's like a buzzing and a ringing more times than not that annoys me to where I cannot stand to watch that TV without a sound bar or a home theater hookup. And this is the first TV I've ever owned where I do not have that problem. And the last feature that I need to highlight, which is not something that necessarily is as flashy as the things that I've talked about, but certainly is important, especially if you're going to be using 4K technology, 4K gaming systems, or a 4K Blu-ray player, is that there's actually 3 HDMI ports on this TV, so you can have multiple systems hooked into this without having to use any kind of a splitter or any kind of an extension. And they are also all 2.1s. They're HDMI 2.1 hookups, which is the latest update of HDMI technology. So if you have PS5s, Xbox Series X's, a 4K Blu-ray that you want to have the highest possible picture quality, this will allow you to do that. Now, as far as negatives, I only have 2. And for some people, they might actually be pretty serious. I have lived with them very easily, so they're not really something that turned out to be a very big deal for me, but they are absolutely worth noting. The first issue that I have had with this TV is that the whole story I gave about why I was not able to keep my soundbar hooked up is because in certain streaming apps within the Fire TV, there are different audio channels. Like Netflix, I had a bit of an issue with certain shows where the default audio channel will not translate through your audio cable into your soundbar. And so you would watch a show and have no audio. And if you did not have options for other audio channels to be able to switch it over, you just could not watch that show without unplugging your soundbar. It's something I did some research in, and I've looked in forums with other people that have had these TVs and have had Fire TV setups, and it is an issue with some kind of a translation between those streaming apps and the Fire TV app. And unfortunately, because this TV has the Fire TV app built into it, and that is quite literally the home page of your TV, there's no way to bypass it or get around it. It's something that impacts your TV experience no matter what you try to watch. So there was a lot of shows that I was able to watch. There was a lot of movies I was able to watch. It was just certain things, but it happened enough to where I got frustrated and unplugged my soundbar. But luckily, like I said, the sound quality of the TV by itself was actually pretty damn good. It wasn't something that made me dislike the TV in any way. It was just a bit of an annoyance that I'm sure in time there will be some kind of a fix for. And now onto my second and last negative, and this is something that I unfortunately could not find a solution for, but I do hope that there's going to be a patch for it at some point, and I'm sure it will. It's still a very new television. So anytime that I switched over to one of my inputs to play either my PlayStation or my Xbox Series X, whenever I switched back over to my home screen to go back through the actual Fire TV app and try to watch something on any of the streaming channels, there were a few streaming services like YouTube and Disney Plus, namely, where the video would go black, to where if you went to one of the separate inputs and then went back to the home screen, you were not able to watch anything. You could hear the video play. If you went to fast forward or rewind it, you could see the video in the preview while you were fast forwarding and rewinding, but when you actually click play, you would have audio and a black screen. And the only way to reset that is to go into the settings and physically restart your TV, which takes about 15 seconds. First world problems. It's not a gigantic issue. It wasn't like something where I had to unplug the TV or reset it to factory. Anytime I played a game, I just kind of had muscle memory. I knew that I had to go and click the restart button and wait another 10 seconds and everything was fine. But again, just like my first negative, it's just more of an annoyance. It's something that should not be an issue with a TV where everything else I've talked about is so top notch. But unfortunately, it's something that happened every single time I switched over to one of my other input channels. And much like my first negative, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a patch or some kind of an update that will alleviate this issue in the future. So if you were looking for a 4K television that is going to be an awesome viewing experience, a great listening experience, and quite honestly is one of the best gaming experiences that I have ever had with a TV, definitely look into the Toshiba M550ku. It's available online. It's available at Best Buy. I believe it's $800 for the 55-inch version, $1,000 for the version that I use, which is the 65-inch version. And if you want to go big and get the 75-inch version, it's going to run you about $1,200, which is still very much more inexpensive than a lot of the more high-end prominent brands out there. But I promise you, the level of quality that this TV delivers will make you swear that you bought the most expensive TV in the lot. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, I don't normally do technology reviews, but if you like movies to watch on these TVs, I'm going to put a playlist over here of my 2022 movie reviews, and I'm also going to include my most recent movie review, which is going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So please check that out if you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, remember, opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean that you have to be.